All right. It is Tuesday, March the 10th, 2026, 6 o'clock p.m. for our regular council meeting. Before we do the pledges, is there anybody here for additional appropriations, comments on that? On the quick public hearing, open it at this time for any additional appropriations that we will discuss tonight. Going once, going twice. I entertain a motion to close the public hearing portion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Miller, second by Cheatham. Public hearing portion to close. All in favor? 6, 7. John Lisby's walking in now. So 7-0 on that. We're closed on our public hearing. I'll give John just a second to get behind here, and then we'll all stand and we'll do the pledge, and followed by invocation by Mr. Collins. So if you would stand with me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over us while we make decisions for the county. Give us good sights to see what we need to do to make the county better. Lord, please be with our president and his decisions. Be with our troops that are overseas. Cover them with your shield to protect them all. Be with each and every one of us in this room, and let us all get along for another meeting. Thank you for everything, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right. I'll run through a few things that were on the agenda from last time. One of which, let me find this, and we had asked a while back, or I think somebody told me to ask or requested me, the regional sewer to send their financial report. And so they did send that, and I can forward that to each of you guys or whoever wants it, or however we need to disperse it. But looks like they ended 25 with like 877,000 cash on hand. It's a lengthy document, but it goes through what their debts were, wages and salaries, things like that, rentals, payments on some bonds that they have. It talks about their bonds that they have outstanding and the amounts of them in here. I'll send a copy of it to each of the members. And then, Jennifer, do you want me to send you a copy just to where we have it if someone requested?
We can do that. I keep a file for them.
Well, how about I add you to that email, and then I'll just send it appropriately.
Okay.
That way, if someone wants it, it's obviously a public document, and we'll provide that. But that is there. And then there was more issues with getting a hold of them. Do we know if there's any better contact? They had, I don't know if you even heard about a lift station out by the apartments just west of town, I guess, went down, and nobody could get a hold of regional sewer, and they were pretty upset. And I guess the mayor got involved from Scottsburg. And
I'm not aware of that this time. I know that's happened in the past. Usually it was dispatched that when I was on the board, that's who contacted.
that's what I thought.
And it was Jason Combs that they would contact.
Well, I don't know, but
So
that
I don't know from there.
got called to me early in the morning, and I was like, there's really nothing I can do. I tried to get Tom, I think, and some of those guys. They finally got a hold of, is it Terry Jones? Is that right?
Terry Jones was the president.
Finally got a hold of him. He's the president now. And I think, to my understanding, they've got it worked or working or something. And anyway, I was just told that I needed to let everybody know about that, so I did. I also had a meeting with Mayor Amick in the city of Scottsburg regarding the changes that we had requested to the animal control contract. For the record, we, the council, are not rewriting this contract. That is not our job, not our role. That is not what we're doing. However, we do have a seat at the table to talk about it because it involves finances and money that we budget to them every year for animal control services. There's some progress being made with it, and the mayor at the time wasn't even aware when I talked to him that there's 3 sets of rules in Scott County. If you live in Austin, you follow a set of rules. You live in Scottsburg, you follow a set of rules. And if you live across the street in the county, you got another set of rules for all the same dog. That, I think, is going to change. And I think we as a governing body can do better. And that's what they're going to work on. So their intent is to get with Josh Stigdon, who happens to be the legal representative for Scottsburg and Austin, have him draft up what would work for those two municipalities and then send it to our governing body for our processes to agree, disagree, make changes, and move forward. But there is some forward motion on the animal control
It's an interlocal
agreement. Yes,
that we do
agreement.
have to sign it and
So,
we do have to approve it.
we
So
do.
We do have to hand it.
Well, we just don't write it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Stigton's got a suggestion, but.
Correct. So I'm not trying to say we're drafting up our own or anything.
Oh,
We
no.
will be involved in it, but it will go through the normal processes of the government, but be cleaned up to where everybody can understand it. And the guy that works there, God love him. I don't know how he keeps up with all the rules, but hopefully it'll be easier for him. So with that, the next thing on my list for you guys was Judge Mount called me and they started up the JRAC program. I have no idea what those stand for, other than it's a juvenile program that oversees juveniles that get in trouble and how they move through the correction/legal process. They're redoing the board that I guess should have been around for a while and it hadn't. And he asked that at one time, Joe Smith was the representative for the council on that board. He asked if we minded if he retained him. I said, we've already done our board appointment, so sounds great. If anyone here believes a reason why Joe Smith shouldn't serve on that, let me know and I'll look at it. But otherwise, we can revisit that next year at board appointment times if you're all good with that. Back in, what was that, January, that opioid agreement, did we ever get assigned? I think
I have
they
not got a.
wanted
I've
to
got-
enter into another one, right?
We're supposed to, and I've got notes about it, but I have not got the actual DocuSign to sign it.
Okay. All righty. Do we know, has the commissioner seen it or have they agreed to enter into it? They talked about it at one
Alex sent me
point.
something on that. I can discuss that with him more.
I guess I just put it on here to keep it on my radar that if we need to do that, maybe we will follow up with it and do that, because that seems to be a pretty good thing for us, getting money for problems there. Anybody have anything else council related we need to discuss or keep working on right now? If not, wake up, Brittany, we'll move to you. And she has a additional appropriation for some grant money tonight, correct? Is that
Yes.
what it is?
We actually received a grant through the Health Foundation of Greater Indianapolis. They had 7 machines to give out, and the health department actually received one. This is a hepatitis C testing machine. It will test for the PCR. So right now we just have a rapid test. We can poke their finger. We can say, yeah, you have the antibodies, you don't have the antibodies. You need to go to the doctor and get further testing. With this machine, we'll be able to do just a finger stick still, but be able to get the PCR, which means we'll be able to know exactly if they do have it or not have it. And then we can send that directly, get them directly into the doctor to get treatment. Because like 50% of the people that have Hep C don't even know they have it. So we need to test more people. The machine itself is worth $40,000. So there were only 7 given in the whole state. So we were really lucky to get that. But they also agreed to pay for 2 years service fee at $3,000 a year. So that's $6,000 for the service fee. And they also agreed to pay for the $2,500 system initiation fee and a $250 printer that needs to go with it. So we won't be out any money on that. The state will pay for the cartridges for it for a whole year. So after that, all we have to pay for are the cartridges from here on out. So they sent me a check for the $8,750. Yeah. They sent me a check for that. So I had to go to the commissioners to get something set up. And then I just need you guys to agree that I'd like $250 in supplies and for the printer, and then $8,500 in professional services for all of the service agreements.
So that in front of us is on ordinance 2026-45. And it is for, how do you say this grant?
I call it CFID.
Yeah.
It may not be right.
System grant. The total amount granted is $8,750, which we have received. And like Brittany said, she's just asking to put 8,500 of that in professional services, the other 250 in operating supplies. I'd entertain a motion to accept that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Collins, second by Miller. All in favor of this grant money, 7-0.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up is Kevin with the Highway Department. Do you have a transfer too, Brittany?
Yes.
Sorry.
You need to do that now.
I can do it real quick while Kevin's passing out paperwork, if we have it.
What's the next resolution number?
Resolution number is 5.
I drafted that one and
So-
sent it to you.
I don't have it.
I think it's supposed to write it to you.
Huh?
I didn't use that
The only one that I,
preset thing that JR does.
the only one that I recall getting was for
I'm
the
gonna run
sheriff's
through this
department.
I have to-
I'll run through it real quick for Brittany.
I said,
Right back on.
I emailed that. I don't need it on the-
All right, we'll go over a quick transfer. It is on resolution 2025-5. It's a resolution to transfer within the budgets out at the health department. Brittany's requested moving $1,000 from internet and cable to a maintenance contract within her budget. Motion to accept by Cheatham, second by Lisenby. All in favor? So moved. All right, you're up, Kevin. Sorry about that.
So I'm gonna hit the first thing I handed out to you. And that's kind of bring back what I asked you to table last week.
Yep.
Or last month was the 1176 and 1173. And honestly, I think the terminology on my end was mistaken. That I kept thinking that we're advertising for additional. So I was educated today. That's why, unless you're studying, budget terminology, that's why I printed that off to kind of say, what we're doing is taking the main fund that the state funded us, and we're moving it over to the restricted side, saying the highway department's going to spend that money on construction, reconstruction, and preservation. I think that cleans up what we was looking to do. We just have to do it in this kind of like the long road instead of being able to do it dead at budget time. It's got to come in a fund, and they advertised it, so it reduces the main fund and puts it in the restricted. So.
I think the confusion came because we believed we budgeted that out.
And you did, well, but the state doesn't recognize that as a sub-fund. So they put it all in one fund, MVH.
Yes.
And then they want you to pay it out of 1173 and 1176. 1173 being restricted on what you can spend money on.
Right.
So
To
do
a
we
certain
still
thing.
budget it and then January
So
of
that
the year?
everything we sent out, the state gave us. But they didn't put none of it in 1173. They put it all in 1176. They can't do that here.
So you just.
And
we
then when
have
it
to
comes
move
here, we put it over to 1173, and then the auditors do what they do at the end of the year with it.
Okay.
And so we've never done that in years past. Years past, we paid everything out of 1176. The auditors went through, done a bunch of claim adjustments at the end of the year, not just them, years past. And that's how they did it. I'm not saying that's right, I'm just saying that's how they did it.
Right.
So, we attempted to do it differently, which I think we've got there, but there's some extra steps from what we knew.
I met with other auditors after this issue came up, and they've not had there was an issue, I think, for a couple of them when they first came in, but I need to get some more information, I guess, to make sure we don't have to do this every year, because the other counties are not doing this.
So I spoke with a couple of them too, and I honestly don't know if all of them's doing
It goes into highway, it doesn't go into,
because
the budget, right?
some of them are creating, the highway department's creating 3 lines: preservation, construction, and reconstruction.
Uh-huh.
And then they're paying out of those lines, and they're not even funded. They're just running negative. And then they change it all at the end of the year. So there's definitely other counties doing it. I'm not telling you that's right.
how do you want it done? I guess you just want it.
I'm good with if we transfer all that money, essentially is all it is, out of one fund into restricted, pay out of that, and then when they do all their adjustments, we're showing no negatives. you're going to show negatives in 1173 right now because we're paying salary out of it. So, I mean, allow is going to show it until we
So you
adjust
have
it.
to unappropriate where we appropriated it and then do an additional out of the,
to make
That's
it.
gonna be the problem, yeah. That's why we were saying that if we leave it the way it is and put it in there,
Mhm.
then we can just run them out and not have to do all the adjustments at the end of the year.
Yes.
Which I think is what the goal was anyway, so
Yeah,
then
right.
Kevin can see both
Yep.
accounts and he can manage his.
I
budget
can
money.
see it regardless. It doesn't show negative to me. When we pay out 1176, technically it is when you do your operations report at the end of the year. Because the state says, oh, well, you can't spend all that money out of 1176. You got to spend it out of restricted. I know it's confusing, but that's the way it is. They want, they do not budget that. They budget that into one fund. It's up to the county to put it in a sub fund and make sure they're spending the 50% on those three things.
Well, what do we need to do? Sit down and round table this, figure it out? Or just leave it as is? What do you need from me to make it work?
If you will go ahead and approve these, we can put those in and allow, and then he can look at each one and it'll be
Do it.
fine.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
So just so we're clear, what you're moving is in
Yes.
1176 is going to go to zero, and then that money's going to 1173. There's no additional money. It's
Right.
taking it out of one checking account, and put it in your savings. It'll be no difference.
Yeah.
It's going to go to zero. And money's going over here. That's all it is. Just a long road to it.
no, that's not, that's a
And-
resolution. I don't know what she means this is.
So is that what we have to do every year?
We probably will, because we can't put
To
it in
make
the
it-
gateway at the beginning of budget.
Right.
That-
Well, we could do it
I feel like-
January
yeah,
and
we
you'd be
could
set
definitely do
for
it
the year.
quicker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, and I know it's a bumpy road because that was a major change for your office, us, and him. But whatever works best is what
Either that or
About-
we're gonna have to do a lot of claim adjustments or transfers at the end of the year.
which I think makes it cumbersome for you
All of
because
us.
And
There's-
it makes the paperwork
It was always, that's the way they did it.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's the
Right.
way they did it.
Yeah, that's the way it was always done in the past,
Yeah.
right, yes.
So, yeah, to make that change might be a bumpy road, but that's what it is.
well, let's try this and if it's better, fine. If it's not,
Yeah, I think it,
I'm human. I'll make a mistake here and there. I'll own it.
I mean, we're not gonna overspend anything. It's dollars going to zero and moving away here, so. I just wanted to correct a couple things off. We've been in here a few times and asking for additional, kind of where we're at.
While he's passing that out, the first move of money is on ordinance 2026-46, and it's moving to that 1173 fund an additional appropriation, which technically is coming from 1176 to 1173. Are we on? That one's flashing. I don't know if I'm good or not.
You're on.
We're good? Okay. Just making sure. That is $61,880, and that is for whoever we pay as the highway department supervisor. But no, it's Kevin. So I would entertain a motion to accept. These are going to be, Collins made the motion. These are going to be listed as additional, but like you said, it's moving money around. So Collins with a motion.
Second.
Get you next time. Miller beat you with the second, and all in favor of this one? 7-0 on that move. I think there's a few of these. It's going to be the same thing, so I'll try to breeze through them. The next one up is on, Jennifer, I gotta go too fast for you. Let me
No,
know.
it's fine.
2026-48, same thing. It's an additional appropriation. What happened to
Skip
47?
Did I skip over that and do that one?
All right, sorry. Make this 47. It is an additional appropriation moving money from 1176 to 1173. The total amount $706,491. Motion to accept
I'll make that motion.
by McCoskey, seconded by Miller. All in favor? 7-0. Miller trying to cut the new guy out.
Sorry.
Hey, don't forget to check your boxes.
Thank you,
You'll
Heather,
get in
for this
trouble.
one out. I will try to educate myself more on the highway funds. but
Yeah, it's,
As you can imagine.
Next up, 2026-48 is going to be the same thing from 1176 to 1173 for the highway department. Total amount $1,166,427. motion to accept this one. Lizzby. Second by Miller. All in favor? Don't worry, we got plenty. I'll look your way in a minute.
John Collins didn't sign that one.
Hey, get him. He gets on you all the time. John Collins didn't sign that.
John, got to check. Oh, hand signing.
I don't think anybody got it.
It never made its way down
Is
here.
that,
Oh, okay.
is that all of them?
I'll let it slide.
Is that all you
That's
had?
all of
You had
them,
a
three.
transfer request, right?
Thank you.
You had a transfer from
Well-
building materials to striping.
That's kind of what you're wanting to go over through the auction fund.
Yeah, well, I got the auction fund, but,
Which one do you want to do
I've
next?
got an additional.
that's an additional. What that's-
Oh, we didn't
Auction
have
is
a-
additional.
We
Yeah,
didn't
that's
have a
additional.
form for that one, so I didn't do one for it. So
Do you have a form for, I think that was for last month, but we may have missed it, the going out of line striping to,
Gotcha. And we are at 50, right, Jennifer, or 49?
49.
49.
Okay, next week will be at 50. I don't know how I got messed up here. 49.
These are coming back. All right, ordinance 2026-49. It is from the Highway Auction Fund, a request for building materials in the amount of $15,839.98.
so I gave you all a list right here. I know we've been in and out a bunch on that. Everything in the red is stuff that we already paid for, out of what we asked for last time. Everything in the black is the stuff that we're looking to buy. Because if you look at Lauer, I know there's too much sitting on the desk for there actually be a balance, but the correct balance. But yeah, so those are just things for our brine system. Still waiting on Jeff to do the gutters and gutter board, some brine tanks, and for the brine trucks.
Any questions on that one? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept this is what covers the black, the 15,000.
Yeah, that-
839.
Yeah, if we buy everything we have on that list right there, that'll all cover.
So a motion to accept number 49 for that $15,000 amount out of his auction proceeds. John Collins with the motion, second by Cheatham. All in favor? 7-0. There's a snowplow place that just opened recently on Spring Street, Jeffersonville. It seems to be giving decent prices. If you
Check it out.
want to check into them. I seen it while I was driving.
I got one other thing to ask about, I guess. Talk to Jennifer to see if there was any money or maybe how you guys wanted to handle this moving forward, but transfer station, we've let them use the loader out there. What they've used it for is they smash down the open top. So it's got one completely bad tire and another tire that's, you might as well call bad. So they've been tubed last year. They're junk. They can't be tubed again. They last 6 months. They're $1,000 a piece. Obviously, I mean, if it's going to use equipment, it's going to have to support itself. So I guess I'm just asking you guys where you stand with that, how you want to handle that. I mean, we have no problem going out there and getting it done for them, but I think I figured up today the highway roughly has $140,000 worth of tires sitting on its lot. So I got about $23 a tire to maintenance in the year. So if we're going to use them in other places, they're going to have to
Does
support
transfer
themselves.
making enough money to cover that, or?
Did you happen to print when you finished up today, did you?
And I really just
print
wanted
the total?
Bring it to your attention because it's like, if we're going to do that, then you'll have to make adjustments or
It's up to you.
however you want to do it, but it has to cover it.
Can you cover it now?
Now,
And then we
what's going
do
on?
an additional maybe later on in the year, give them a little time to make some more money.
It's, like I said, we tubed it 6 months ago and they told us it wouldn't last and they were right. It's wore out on the inside.
I thought it was 57.
Jennifer, I don't know if I'm looking at it right, but is it 4929, the transfer station fund?
Yeah, 49.29.
It's showing, hold on, let me make sure I have all the boxes checked. I'm bad about that before I go spouting off numbers. Let's move all that over. All that over. What I'm showing is 3 pages worth of stuff. 44,746. Does that sound about right?
That's probably about right. I hate to say we're finishing that up today. I know you got the emails from State Board of Accounts and from Ryan. We're
Which,
putting that over there.
that's just for the credit cards though, right? Because that's what it says. Just to
No, that's
reconcile.
not just the credit cards.
No,
the-
but what Ryan's gonna do is just the
Yes,
credit cards.
just the credit cards. That bank is only for clearing
Okay.
for the credit cards. So,
I mean,
and I think though that Kenley got everything put in today. I think we got everything quietest in, so I think that is their cash amount.
I hate to say this, but here's my J.R. Ward opinion. Somebody needs to manage this account or fund. Like every department in the county, Kevin manages his budget, Johnny manages his budget, you manage yours. Who oversees this to say, yeah, spend 2,000 on tires or not? That's where I'm at. It's like I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I could say, yeah, they got 44,000. Let's put $2,000 worth of tires on this machine, but I don't know if that's
James Carey is the one who's paid a little bit extra, and it's only like $13 a week to do extra work. And I'm gonna say he's doing a tremendous job of looking at numbers and trying to figure out where things are coming in, where they're going out, and things like that. I don't know how much work he wants to do for $13 a week, quite frankly. But the financial part, we're gonna go back to, and I think they talked to him today about it, I think Ryan did, to go back and do the cash the way he was doing it originally. We're only doing the credit cards in that bank, Bank 14 to be a clearing bank. But whether he makes those decisions, the commissioners, I don't know.
and I don't either, but I mean, I do agree that if they're using that loader and
Right.
they need it,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
need to pay the tires.
it's one of those
on
deals
it.
where it's like
Or maybe they pay
split
one, you
or
pay
something.
one.
It's not that we would never want to use it, but it's just like,
Right.
you know, it's going to wear, things are going to break out there. I mean, it's just
Exactly.
going to happen. It's part of
And there has
part
to
of
be
life.
some kind of a budget.
I know talking to James, I guess to the little understanding that I have about it is they charge you like a minimum of 600 ton, 6 ton. They charge you a minimum of 6 ton to get rid of your open tops, whether it has 2 ton in it, you still get charged that. So they try to smash it down and get all they can in there. It is what they're using it for. I know he said that maybe he talked to you guys or whatever, that they was going to, you know, in future, hopefully try to get more of that in the compactor. So those costs, you know, equal out a little bit more.
Right.
I think with that being said, it's just my opinion. You start putting construction debris like crazy in compactors.
Break.
I don't know.
I don't
guess
know.
those other ones lasted for years,
I'm not a
maybe.
trash guy,
Um,
but
I ain't either. I'm just saying that the loaders out there needs $1,000. One of them will air up and go down slowly. So, I mean, it could buy time, but the other one is shot. It's sitting on the rim. So,
well, I
whatever
think
your boys
let me
want.
follow up on it. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
And
I'll do this. I'll put a tire on it so it's usable. I got $6,000 in my tire budget, but I got $130,000 worth of tires. So I'll put the tire on it. We'll come back and look at it. I mean, we're not going to leave the machine just sitting out there, but the flat tire, just for the next
Right.
winter or whatever.
well,
But I just wanted to bring it to
or
your attention.
even-
It's like, if we're going to do it, we're going to have to figure out how to fund it.
if it needs 2 and you put one on and they put one on,
We could do that. That'd be
maybe
fair.
that's fair. And then we can ask about April if they can stand to lose.
That's what I'm saying, if they
Out
could
of
do
it.
that, because that's one of the things James was talking about when he came in, that they're picking up business so that it'll be, I mean, the last couple of months have been pretty lean out there. And they had an electric bill that was unusually high. So they've had some issues that we're trying to get worked out, but
If we're going to run it as a department and it's going to stand on its own, somebody has to manage it. And it's not this board's responsibility or Kevin's or yours or anybody else. So the commissioners, and I'll talk to Greg, are going to have to decide who manages that
You may,
business.
just talking to James, you may look, I think you're paying 3 meters out there. Of course,
We
one of them's
are.
out by the road at that, and then one of them's by the old building, I call it. And then one of them's for the recycle center. You may look into seeing what that original contract with that recycle center says. I don't know. Does it say the county's paying the electric bill?
he did mention that today, so
So,
I haven't had time to.
Might have been
look
doing
at
that the last 30 years. I don't know. But that's something.
About par for
I ain't in
course.
it, but you know, we get called for everything that goes wrong. So just telling you, it needs some
All right.
funding figured
Well, if
out.
you're willing to fix the one immediate, then I think surely to God, they can handle the other one out of that budget. And then they have if you want the piece of equipment, you're gonna have to maintain it. That's the
Yeah,
bottom line.
I
Not
think-
you, I'm saying them.
No, I get it. I think that if it could fund itself to help out a little bit, then that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Next up is the children's advocacy. There was, I guess, some confusion on this last time, and I'm sorry you had to come back, but I did watch the commissioners meeting. I think they talked about it, and we are all on the same page, if I can speak tonight. Restricted opioid is where this is coming from.
That's for unrestricted. Because
All
we
right.
thought there was a ordinance from the commissioners for unrestricted, or for restricted,
Restricted.
but there was not.
Okay.
And we did not get that done at the last one, but it was advertised for the February meeting in unrestricted. The ordinance is for unrestricted.
So we're good.
We're good. And
You
the
don't care where it
commissioners
comes
will
from as
correct
long
us.
as you get it.
No.
Okay. All right. So to get this taken care of, we're coming from unrestricted opioids to Children's Advocacy Center. And I think we talked about it. It's an excellent program. I don't think anybody here negates the work you guys do. It was just a matter of making sure we were getting it from the right fund. So I would entertain a motion on ordinance 2026-50 for the amount of $15,000.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by John Collins, second by Scott McCoskey. All in favor?
You said 15,000.
1-5, yes, sir. $15,000. 7-0 on that.
That's 35.
No, we have another one. So-
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about all that
That's
confusion.
okay. That's all right. Opioid money is tough.
All right, next up is the additional appropriation for $35,000 from restricted opioid money for recovery court, which is what, 51? I think this is the portion that we talked about, that he got the grant when you had to supplement it a certain amount, and they agreed, the commissioners agreed it could come from restricted opioid funds for the amount of $35,000. So I'd entertain a motion. Let's look.
It's,
6, 5 something maybe.
yeah, it was,
I want to say it's in the 500s.
that'll be in that packet that I gave you. $562, $337.03.
You hear that, Justin? 562, 337.03 is what's in restricted. Unrestricted, and is that counting this or no?
No, that's not counting the
Yeah, okay.
35,000, and that will not be counting the 15,000 of the
So-
unrestricted.
There's 67,568 in unrestricted minus 15,000 we just agreed to spend, and the 562 will be minus 35,000 if we so choose to do this. So, anyone want to make a motion on the 35,000 of opioid restricted? John Lisby has made a motion to accept, second by John Collins. All in favor of opioid restricted? Any opposed? All passed 7-0. Next up is EMS with a request for a grant approval and then a request for an additional medical supplies, which actually was paid in 2025 bills.
Which one do you want to cover first?
You pick, man. I'm up for the game.
As far as the additionals for, most of that stuff was ordered in October and November, a few things in December. The big one was $10,000 was a cabinet that we didn't receive till February, and it was past the encumbrance date or any of that. So pretty much it's just, I got hit with between the back order and all that, it just was past the encumbrance date, and I'm just trying to pay for the stuff.
Coming
On the 20.
from 1151.
Unless you want to be nice and give out a general, I'd say 1151 would be okay. I tried. Yeah, it'd come out of our fund. We had I don't want to say a surplus, but we had extra last year that we didn't get to spend because we didn't get invoiced until February of this year.
Jennifer, do we have an ordinance on that one?
For his medical supplies for EMS.
I didn't see
You
it.
remember the
I don't see a request.
30.
It's around 30,000 total.
I didn't see.
It's
it.
actually like 32, whatever, but we only asked for 30 because I'm still waiting on a couple back ordered items.
I don't think I saw that advertised, nor did I see a paper request.
I don't think I had it advertised or anything. I knew I missed community corrections, but I didn't know I missed yours.
All right.
Well, fill out that little form that JR came up with, and
We did.
you did? I didn't get a copy of it.
It was sent to,
Did you get
Let me
it?
look.
I'm not sure I have it either. man.
Stand by.
We're all, you can tell we're all confused faces up here, sorry.
Sorry.
On 2/28, they sent, we're requesting additional appropriation of the following fund, 30,000 from 1151 medical supplies. To me and you, Jennifer, copied Nick on it, came from Kaylin. Kaylin? Is that right?
Oh. I think that might hit after the deadline,
Yeah, we have to do
Okay.
it
Because we
14
have to do
days now on the
14 days.
website, so.
so it'll have to go to March.
So we'll do April on that.
see you in April.
Yeah, this isn't March, I'm sorry, April.
If I can't make April, can we remember what it's
Yeah,
for?
I think
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah. we're good on that.
It's all from Boundtree and Pencare. Like just the invoices are from Boundtree and Pencare. They're all medical supply stuff. The second thing is for a grant request. It's a match, 50-50 match from the state. It's a comprehensive grant for the MIH program to be used with either new upstart or existing programs. Obviously, ours is existing. We see anywhere from 68 to 81 patients a week, depending on the week. Some are biweekly and all of that. It's up to 50,000 with a match of the same amount. Our idea, after talking with Brittany, was to kind of build off of the program that we have because I feel like we've got a pretty successful.
This is community paramedicine, right?
Right.
For
MIH
watching.
community.
And you guys share that program now, which seems to be
Correct.
working great. So this would just take that program and move it to another level, or
The ideology that we're trying to pursue is adding a telehealth implementation with like a PA or an NP with it. Obviously, they're not cheap, and being able to use this grant kind of as proof of concept for it, because right now we still can't bill for any of this. We can't even bill patient insurance, so all of this is still free to the community, and we just, between her and I, we absorb the cost of the program. Mainly her right now. And doing this would kind of open up that telehealth avenue that, after talks with our billing department, seem to be where we're going to be able to pursue some of that reimbursement from sooner than later. So that's what we're going to try to pursue with it. I know there's an email, I can break it down what the costs were, but we're asking to be able to apply for the grant for 50, and we would match 50 for a total of 100. And the 50 would come out of 1151.
All right. And that would be for this year, right? Fiscal year
Yeah,
26.
I believe it has to be spent by July 31st of this year, or at least allocated to be spent in those
Okay.
areas.
So I would entertain a motion to accept the request for a grant application. It does involve matching money, which is why this board has to vote on it. But the matching funds will come from EMS money and not general.
And just for ease of mind right now, I don't know if Kinley can pull it. I don't know. I looked earlier, but our deposit hadn't hit. There's either 751 sitting in there, unless our deposit hit, then there's 933. So that's what my balance is on my account right now.
So John Collins made a motion to accept, seconded by John Miller. All in favor of the grant request, 7-0 on that.
We'll have to do an additional appropriation too.
If we get it, yes, ma'am.
If you get it back.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll have to actually do, I assume, 2, because we'll have to do, like, if we receive the grant, that'll come in, and then we'll have to appropriate that to our fund, and then the 50% match would have, so there'd be those 2, I would assume, that we'd have to do. And then it's broke down. We've got
You
it
have to
broke.
appropriate it by July though. When are you gonna know if you got the grant?
It closes tomorrow and they're supposed to let us know. Yeah. So it's all filled out and like submitted. We just haven't hit finalized. But we're supposed to know by the end of the month is when they said that we would get notified by. It's super long time frame. But it's all broke down as far as disbursement if we go that way.
All righty.
Anything else?
Sir, I appreciate it.
Come back in April.
If you want. If not, I think we all have an understanding of the request for medical supplies. So if you're not here, I think we can move forward.
I'll try. Okay.
I understand.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Nick.
The next one, I'll just skip over. It's a coroner was going to request for a grant approval, but we found out earlier today that grant closed or the application process ended on March the 6th. To be determined at a later date. I think he'll try it again, but ain't much.
You want me to do this?
You can.
Okay. We found out last Wednesday about this massive grant from Representative Aaron Hopkins. This grant has been around for years. It'll be around next year. But we found out about it last Wednesday. We were under the impression that it didn't have to be done until this coming Friday. So myself, Nick Olick, and Will Lovins managed to put together here's what we want to do. We got 2 bids together in 5 days. That's how hard we've been working on this. And then we found out yesterday, last Friday was the cutoff on it. So we're not going to be able to apply for it. The county pays an organization to find these grants for us. How they could overlook a grant like this and we have to find it on our own, I don't understand. And that's something I feel the county needs to look into. Because this could have very easily turned into $1 million grant. And this is why I feel we're having so much trouble in this county. We can't find grants and stuff when they're made available to us. But we'll try again next year.
And I guess it's just a good time to touch on it. Last year or the year before we did that resolution, if there's a grant that requires no county match, doesn't create any employment, you don't need our approval, just go ahead and apply for it, get it.
I don't think you ever passed that because you wanted to come up with more parameters.
Did we not?
No, I came up with a framework and then we started
think
thinking
we
about
need to
other things we needed to add on to it. So I don't think that we
I think
passed that.
We need to
we
revisit
need to
that.
look into that a little bit, because if it wasn't for having to come here tonight to get permission to make it, we still didn't know in enough time to been able to done it, but I can see instances where somebody could find out about a grant, between council meetings or something, and end up losing $1 million grants because.
But for me, if that's $1 million and it's a matching grant, then you're asking me for $1 million. And
Well,
I think this body ought to at least have some say so whether we're going to
Well-
pursue that or not.
like we was talking earlier, you still have an opportunity to say we can't afford to do it.
How's that work in this county?
It's not real well, but the opportunity's there if you choose to do it. If I would have known about this one a week earlier, we would have had it. If somebody would have given me the right date, we would have had this filed by last Friday. But with having to come here, I couldn't have done that. There's grant opportunities there that we're missing out on.
No, I agree. I'm sure there's grants out there that we don't know of, and
Yeah.
maybe we
Well,
do better with that in the future. But for me and my vote, I would have to say if it's going to involve hiring someone or a county match money, I want to know about it before we apply to it.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, that's where I'm at on the grant. The other thing I asked you about, last month when we done the board appointment, or y'all done the board appointments, I asked to keep my redevelopment board. And somehow in the shuffle last month, JR said he would take it if nobody else wanted it. I did want it. And I would like to ask y'all to give me my board back. You know, I've done it for 3 years extremely effectively.
I think you did as a councilman,
Yeah,
but now you're a coroner.
Yeah.
If you want to remain on the council and have your board, as you say, that board appointment's up every year or so. I mean, it's not any one person's board. It's an appointment from the
and I never
council.
said it was. I've never known anybody to ask to be left on a board that done an effective job at the board, get removed for no reason.
Okay.
And I've done an extremely effective job on that board. And I just kind of felt like we had some things in the works with it, and I'd like to have kept it. That's where I'm at on that.
Well, I'm on that board. It doesn't matter to me which
Yeah.
one. Which one? If you don't want it,
Uh,
I'm happy to work with either one of you.
And another thing I was wanting to ask you is about, look into this where we can't transfer money around from account to, like myself, I won't speak for every other department in this county, but me, it makes it very difficult having money in one line item that I can't get to until I come to here. We've got some trainings coming up, for instance, that we don't have training line item. We have a training supply line, but we don't have a training line. Does that make sense?
Not really, but let's go look.
Well,
Let's go look.
me neither. I don't understand it. But it makes it really hard not being able to transfer within your budget. And
Was that just a mess up, or has it always been training
no,
supplies?
that was the new line items that we created 2 months ago or whatever. Y'all give me the money to use, but it's put into a line item that I can't use anyhow.
So can we not just drop?
Remove the supplies.
Right.
Jennifer, can you
That's
just go in
on
there and
you guys.
remove
I don't-
supplies off of it and make it for training?
Just training,
I don't know how it
Period.
became training
so
supplies.
then you can buy
It'll
supplies
depend
or,
on how,
Mine's two different, one's training supplies. and one's
Is it?
training
Yeah.
supplies.
What would you ever use training supplies for in a coroner's office though? I guess we'd have to go back and look at what the
no.
appropriation
Well, I
was
guess
for.
It's just,
really, I guess that's it. I need your all's help figuring it
We'll
out.
just have
so
to
the
do
money's where I
transfer.
need it.
resolution.
Cause he doesn't have a training line. I would think they would go hand in hand. There's a medical supplies, but then there's a training supplies. I don't know what that would be.
I mean, I would say just drop the supplies if possible and just make it a training
But
line.
it'll be a different fund number or a
Oh, gotcha,
line
gotcha.
number, account
So do we
number.
need to create him a training fund then?
There probably already is a training fund in Lao, there should be, and we'll just have to go to that number. We can do a transfer and transfer it from one to the other. But to go in there and just drop that off, the number won't change.
That could be something I done wrong too. When I asked for it, I might have used the wrong number because I was getting the numbers from Nick. So. Oops. But my
Nick,
point,
haven't you learned to
there's
train those dead
money in
people yet?
places I can't get to.
Haven't you learned to train those dead people yet?
I mean, the money's there if he wants it for training. I'm fine personally with it. If we need to just do a transfer resolution or something to get it from training
That's what I
supplies,
think you'll need to do.
to training.
do that.
we can do that.
If it's something that simple, I'll get with Jennifer and I'll get my whole list.
What's that?
31306 is training center.
I'll send you the form to fill it out, and then we'll get it done. We'll have Jennifer advertise it.
Well, I can get with Nick
Or, yeah, I
too
don't
and
have to
see
advertise
what
the
I,
transfer.
what line item numbers I need.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'll
The money's there, I can't use it.
send you the form send it, fill it out, we'll get it done in April meeting, switch it from training supplies to training, and whatever that mistake was would be corrected. But everything else looks all right, I think. I don't know where you would ever do training supplies, but maybe you could.
I think that's everything I've got for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
All right. Sheriff's Department, do you want to do the radio thing first since
If you want to.
he's here, we get it done, hopefully.
The other question was, since it's next month, do I need to fill out that form again?
No, we're good on yours.
No, we've got it.
But good point. And moving forward, what's everybody's take on this? The form thing, I think, works well because it lays out where the money's coming from, where it's going. It's signed by the department head. There's no issues. So in my opinion, if we don't have a form, I don't think we should move on it. But that's my thought. I'll leave it to the board to say, but I think we came up with that. Heather's helped a lot with some transfer typings, and it just makes it super easy to look at that form that is we put together, and it says exactly where it comes from, where it goes, what it's for. And then it's signed by whoever's wanting it. And then in an instance like Nick couldn't be here, it would serve as, well, he needs this for supplies that came from 25 or Kevin or whoever. And I think that would clean things up pretty well. But if we allow some without it and some with it, there ain't much integrity to it, in my opinion.
Since it's a not-for-profit, it's not truly an interlocal, and the commissioners has to. So I think you guys just approve.
Just approve. This is, I guess it's kind of like a interlocal, but not really because it's a not-for-profit. But long and the short of it is an agreement to purchase radios for Vienna Township Fire Department. It's 6 800 APX radios with mics, antennas, all the stuff they need for them, for a total of $6,000. Wherever this organization is that they're buying them from had to have, they wouldn't sell to like the volunteer fire department, had to have someone else. So the sheriff said he would buy them. Fire department's then going to reimburse him for buying them. So there's really no county money out in these. I think we just need a motion and an agreement that we're okay with doing this.
I'll make a motion.
So a motion by
Quick question.
John Miller.
Is that legal?
I have no idea. I'm not in FCC
I'm just
communications.
curious. I don't mind doing it. I want to help. I'm just curious about the
I would
legality.
assume the sheriff wouldn't enter to ask us to draft an agreement that's illegal, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said I would assume the sheriff would not want to purchase those radios if it's illegal. I don't know
Well, I
anything.
know
about
we
it.
wouldn't want to, but we are too. We're in the middle of this, so I just want to do the right thing. If
Well,
it's
we're not-
legal, I'm for it. I'm for it.
We're not actually signing anything.
Yeah, the
The
commissioners
did.
have agreed to it.
I'm not an FCC. Like I'm assuming because of the bandwidths and that's what why you're asking. I don't know
I just
anything
want to
about
make sure
that.
we're doing something legal, that's all.
Yeah, the answer is I don't know. I would assume the commissioner's attorney would have advised.
It says here the organization being
We're not signing. as a
Vienna
council,
Township Fire Department under Section 3.
which was also my first question.
The organization agrees to use the radios in accordance with all applicable laws and regulations. So I think Vienna Township Fire and Rescue agrees this is legal and they're going to use them correctly.
I wasn't questioning that. Really, I'm not questioning much anyway. I just know whenever you use money from one entity to another, you have, sometimes can be some.
Well, you would do an interlocal if it was to government, but when I started researching, they're not actually a fire district. They're not for profit fire department. So it's just a contractual agreement that we're allowing
Okay.
them to take
for
the
it.
money. We're allowing the sheriff to spend the money
Yeah.
and they're going to pay it back and just all the formalities.
All right.
Motion on the floor by John Miller to accept this agreement. Second by James Ritchie. All in favor? 7-0. Agreed. So moved. Done. Sorry it took so long. All right. Next up is what part of the sheriff's department stuff do you want to do next?
I'll just send you the whole packet
Okay.
and
We're on resolution 6, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
This one on resolution number 6, 2026-6 is for the reimbursement to the general fund and the lit public safety and lit special purpose. So pretty much this takes, because of the judgment bond, the agreed order with the sheriff in 2025, the judgment bond, we're taking all the money that we spent out of general, lit public, and lit special and moving the bond money into it to therefore reimburse the county for expenses that were incurred therein. Total amounts are, the reimbursement to the general is $1,247,397.38. Lit public safety is $2,189,259.02. And the lit special purpose fund is $1,219,000.26. There's not a grand total on here, but it's right at what, 4.8?
There it is, $5,020,298.75, which is the balance of the bond fund. So this is just reimbursing those expenses that we incurred in regards to the mandate agreed order. And that's really all we can do with the bond funds is pay for that agreed order. So we're paying back some legal fees. Everything that could be paid back to the general fund went to the general fund first, since those are general purpose use, where we were told, I think last year we were only going to have $500,000 to 750 left. So we wanted to get on the general fund back all its money. And then the next took that 5 million, took out that 1.2 that we could take back to the general fund, put it in the lit public safety, since it's got less flexibility than the general, but more flexibility than special purpose, reimbursed it in total. And then the remainder I split out into the lit special purpose. Does that make sense? You're all looking at me like that doesn't make sense.
You're just talking, so we're looking.
Okay. Maybe if I put my glasses on, I get
There you
it.
go.
So this will take care of those the bond disbursement that's remaining and pay back those funds that we use for the sheriff's spending.
Entertain a motion to accept these moves. John Collins with the motion, second by John Lisaby. All in favor? 7-0. All right, there's that. What do you have? One for canine funds, I think.
Yeah, but I think what Jennifer sent me is different than what I came up with after going through them. Did you? Says instead of appropriated, we were creating a line for equipment and supplies. What you sent me was an unappropriated amount, Jennifer.
That's what we received, yes.
One of them in the meeting, I did say I would entertain unappropriate. I think it was.
Well,
canine.
her request was to create a line for K-9 equipment and training and put the money in there. So I drafted the ordinance. I thought I sent them to you in February. But you just want me to go ahead with my ordinance and you can just keep that copy since it
If we got a signature from him, let's do it that way. That's
we're on
what they
52,
wanted.
correct?
Yeah.
Because this is creating that line they asked for.
Yes, 52.
Okay, thank you.
So this would be a ordinance for an additional appropriation and a line creation in the sheriff canine fund. The ordinance on 2026-52. It is for the total of $27,319.10. And it is for equipment and supplies. So entertain a motion to accept that for the sheriff canine fund.
I'll make that motion.
Liz beat you to it with the motion. Miller with the second. All in favor of that? Any opposed? So be math here. 5-2.
Who opposed?
Who opposed?
Collins and me. Everybody else, I think, is a yay. The next one up is ordinance 2026-53. It's the sheriff auction fund requesting an additional appropriation from the auction fund in the amount of $20,000. Do we know what's that? It says safety supplies. Don't they have a safety supplies in their budget?
The request says no funds were appropriated in safety supply for deputy equipment on voicers being held due to no funds. So they're asking for that out of LISO. Oh, sometimes you gotta be.
There's equipment repair, institutional supplies, but I think that's out of special purpose. Uniforms, equipment repair out of county general office supplies, tires and parts. Maybe not. All right. So, we all want to do on the auction proceeds for safety supplies. He has currently in all of his accounts $3,321,019. Wants $20,000 from auction. Any
He's already got
motion?
his budget, doesn't he?
Do what, sir?
He's already got his budget, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. There isn't a line for safety supplies, but I mean, I guess we could create the line and move something that they wanted. There's a lot of untouched items in here. Contractual service has 15,000, transport expenses at 10,000. I don't know where this falls, if it's road or jail, but
It says for deputy equipment. Is
so
what
that
the
would be
request was for.
the road, I guess.
Yeah.
There's several lines there that they haven't touched yet. The deputy side of things has $378,000 in it. Jail side obviously has more, but well, there's actually more than that. If you take in the salary and payroll comes out of lit public safety, there's a little over $2 million sitting in that one. So,
I mean, we table it.
motion on the floor to table ordinance 2026-53. Is there a second to table it? Going once, going twice. No second to table. Is there a motion to accept or deny?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion to accept by Lisenby with the total amount of 20,000 is your motion, sir? John, is that your?
Yes,
for
yes,
20?
I'm sorry, I thought you.
No,
were
you're
asking-
good. So a motion to accept for the full amount of 20,000.
Yes.
A second on that? Going once, going twice. Motion dies, no movement. Moving on. What else we got for them? We did the radio request.
That's not it. I can ask her here, what-
No, that would be.
On this, there's a transfer, if you guys pass that, she wants to transfer rather than. My understanding is they want to, yeah, that's the right one. So they wanted money also for software, a software contract that they have.
Mhm.
Shouldn't that
But
be
it
under-
wasn't advertised separately, so I thought it would be easier to just do a transfer motion if you guys pass this and transfer 10,000 to the software line. Create the software line.
Well, I guess I'm confused because they have I'm guessing software would have to be in the jail. There's a $15,000 contractual services that they haven't touched. It's 100% available. Then this says office supplies is what they're requesting out of the sheriff law enforcement training fund for $42,674.66. I'm assuming that's what's in that account probably. Like, is that the full balance of that
I
account?
believe it was.
But they started the year with 5,000 in office supplies in the jail, 12,000 in office supplies in the sheriff's side. So 17,000 in office supplies already. And now they want $40,000 more in office supplies. That seems like a pretty drastic amount. But anyway, ordinance 2026-54, entertaining a motion to accept, deny, or table.
Table sounds like a pretty good idea to me. You can have to explain it.
All right, a motion by John Lisby to table for the full amount, seconded by John Miller. All in favor of tabling? 7-0 on that.
Then we don't need to do the line creation resolution because there's nothing to transfer.
We did get an email from Jennifer, was that earlier this week? My days are running together. The commissary thing,
Oh, wait,
That
the
was today.
commissary was this morning.
was this morning. We got that. I don't really know if you guys seen it or not. There's not much to it. I don't know if it's even statutorily correct in my opinion, but all it says is it's a single form. It says commissary and beginning investment balance was $48,423.30. Other receipts, $81,873.67. Other disbursements, $84,101.89. Ending cash, $46,195.08. How's that humanly possible? 3,000 difference in receipts and disbursements, but I don't know. Anyway, there's $791 outstanding checks. I don't know if that's coming in or going out. No idea. But that's signed by the sheriff and says that's his fourth quarter of 2025 commissary report. For what it's worth.
Well, that doesn't meet the agreement, but it doesn't meet statute either. So I forwarded on to the State Board of Accounts representative and told them that I did not feel we got the
Yeah,
thing.
I think
That's really all we can
they
do.
need to figure that
I
out.
can also discuss that with the sheriff's attorney when I talk to him.
All right. Anything else for sheriff's department business? Is that
Everything I had is what I passed down there.
we're good on it? All right. There was a custodian and a transfer
Yes.
station we advertised, but they didn't do the paper form
No,
either.
they didn't, and I had done it. I had said it for both of them. On the custodian, the utilities, it's what's being paid in this building right here. That 15,000, just what we've paid so far. That's what should carry us to the end for that one. The $18,805 is for the windows in the courthouse. That was something that was appropriated in 2025, but the work didn't get done until 2026. And the bill didn't come in until 2026, so.
We didn't do an encumbrance on that one.
Because the bill came in January, and the work hadn't been done until January.
Oh, okay. All right. As far as the utilities here, I mean, if we start moving people over here, I'm sure that's gonna change
We'll need
some.
more, but I mean, that's just kind of a start to get us, this is what, if it would stay the way it is now.
Are we gonna run this place on its own budget, or are we just gonna dump it into,
That, we could do either way you want to do it.
I don't care. I mean, I guess we have to pay the bills, but it seems like you're gonna get in the same situation as a transfer station, like who's in charge of it, or does it just go to Eric's
Well,
budget?
Eric is the one who's paying it now.
Just paying the utilities. All right. So you want to send that down? We'll talk about it.
55?
Should be because we
Yes, it
tabled
is.
54.
Well, you know how good I am with numbers.
So the first one is out of the general fund to the custodian, and it's equipment repair for $18,805, which is windows in the courthouse. And then the utilities, you say that's estimated to get us through the rest of this year,
On this building, yeah.
if it stays as it is now.
Yeah. Like I said, it is just an estimate of what we've paid so far. I think we had a bill in December. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the bill in December, there's actually 4 utility bills for this building. I think that one might have only had 3. And then we got the 4th one, so we went ahead and just.
These are both from you, not because Eric didn't know anything about them, or he said he didn't.
Well,
But
he knew about the windows, but
the
he didn't know
glass, yeah, I
that
think he knew
wasn't.
about this. Which it is 6 windows, right? Is that what I'm reading? And then a lift installed.
Yeah.
For Scottsburg Glass, which was dated January 19th, 2026. So what's everybody's feeling on 2026-55? We want to approve full amount. You want to do something different on utilities over here? What do you guys want to do? I don't care either way.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve both amounts, correct?
Yes.
For the total of $34,009. Motion by John Miller, second by John Collins. All in favor of that? 7. Got those done. And then we have a salary ordinance we tabled last time we need to talk about, didn't we?
Well, we've got it here.
Advertised.
We've got a seed grant and we've also got a transfer station.
What's a seed grant?
Seed grant is GIS and it's going through to help put in new voters. It goes through EMA. Jeremy McDaniel and Eric Lowry showed up with the commissioners and applied for this and they received it.
The county match?
No,
No, it's just money. Okay. I mean, I thought it's called a seed grant, but it's something with GIS that adds layers to our GIS program for mapping. So it's received into the EMA budget, correct, Jennifer? EMA.
it'll go in that grant line, yeah.
2026-56 for the amount in equipment for $7,500. I guess in that, are we paying the equipment for like the software or whatever?
I think it's to put the lines on. I don't know if the software changes or just actually the work to add the layers.
So that is a seed grant coming to us from state, I guess. Is it state funded grant?
I don't know if it's that or if it is through GIS. I'm not certain.
Which is WTH, right? Who does that?
Oh, it is from state. Sorry, it is from state.
State. Okay. So $7,500. I entertain a motion to accept grant money in the EMA. James Ritchie with the motion. Joe, about touching Jordan. Scott McCoskey with the second. He'd be ready to beat me. All in favor of that? 7-0. What you got next?
Transfer station. And there, I don't remember the numbers all of a sudden. We've got a repair, equipment and repair line, which would help with the tires and such as Kevin was asking for, and also utilities. Like I said, they had a extremely high electric bill that actually we weren't able to pay all of it this month. So when this gets appropriated, we'll have to make a partial payment.
And we looked at them, they had like 44 or something in their account.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, they don't have much for lines. So is this to create a line?
They will need to create a line and the utilities is already there, but the repair is not. And we have an outstanding bill for a key, I believe it is, with Roth's Locksmith that has not been paid.
Do we know how much that is
I think it was 121.
to get a key, maybe?
I think it was on a vehicle possibly.
I'm in the wrong business. Yeah, because all they have is 4 lines.
Yeah.
Manager, annual fee, disposal, and utilities, and it's down to $515. So will 3,000 carry them through?
What on the utilities? It may not, we may have to come back, but we'll have to watch, because I mean, money's going in there every month. But
This is coming out of their transfer station fund and into the budget for it. All right, so I will entertain a motion to create an additional line for equipment and additionally appropriate the utilities and the equipment in the amount of $3,000 each for a total of $6,000 on ordinance 2026-57. Motion by Collins, out of their fund. Yeah, that we looked at earlier, it's 44,000. So a motion by Collins, a second by Miller, all in favor of that? 7-0. What you got next, Jennifer?
okay, salary ordinance is next, and there's two parts to that. It's a salary ordinance and the matrix is on the back page.
You reviewed this some, didn't you?
I saw what you sent.
You're up. Papers. Well, that advisory plan changed so much because she got, by taking that job with moving from the auditor's office to downstairs, it went up
Well, I looked at it.
for that one. We added a part-time.
It's the same.
Did everybody have a chance to look this over? The clerk was asking to add on their perpetuation funds. It's on here.
Yeah, the only question I had about that is I had a conversation with State Board of Accounts last year on 4Ds. And we talked about the deputy clerk, a deputy chief and the chief not, like, do they rate, you have to account for their time they're actually used to doing 4D. I'm assuming you track their time that they use that they do 4D work.
You have to go up there if you're gonna talk. It's on here asking to add it.
4D incentive, $910 to each the chief and deputy chief. Okay.
You don't want that? We'll mark those out. Yeah, that's on here, which is like 78 hours. Does that sound right for each of the people? Looks like you have clerk, chief deputy, 1, 2, 3 second deputies, 4 second deputies, 2 bookkeepers, and a part-time all get 78 hours a year.
It's 3 hours per pay period, so.
3 times 52, that's gotta be close.
Yes.
All right. That's good.
3 hours a week. Times 52 weeks is 150 hours.
Not for the rest of it paid out.
Okay.
It's been,
I mean, I'm not good at math. But I think 5 times 3 is 15.
yeah, it's 156 total.
Okay.
But I think it's only 78 because we don't have that many pay periods left, right? Jennifer?
It's 3 hours every pay period.
Which is 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. The 23 times 26 is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So that is 78.
Yeah, 3 times
All right.
26 is 78.
And
you take
then
it out to 40.
Kevin, just to confirm, your new hire full-time with CDL and without CDL or limited experience changes are on here like you wanted. So that sounds good. And then you got 2 part-time seasonal mowing. 1 is vacant, but it's on here. Mechanic floater, 2 of them. 8 equipment operators, 3 supervisors, bookkeeper, and you. I think that looks right. I'm just hoping to look at this one time and not do 47 salary ordinances. That's why I'm taking a minute to make sure we're there. Does anybody have anything else that they know we need to maybe look at? Oh, one question I had is on the matron for the sheriff's department. Wasn't that one like base deputy pay is what the state law or ordinance says, which back in 25, it was actually written on the salary ordinance because it said matron minimum pay equal to entry officer, but then it's not. So does it stay equal to entry officer?
We go by what was written on the bottom of that, so.
Because it was on, like, I'm looking at the 25 salary ordinance. It was written on here, but it's not here anymore.
So do we need to add that in?
The 2025 says matron and then in parentheses, minimum pay equal to entry officer, but then,
Which I think is what the state law says you have to pay them. If I
right,
remember
but is,
correctly.
yeah, but on this salary ordinance, it's not on there, but it does reference the matron on the matrix saying that it's going to be road deputy pay on base plus the number of years of service is tier 1. But I don't think that's the statute. I mean, I'll have to look at the statute. I haven't looked at the statute, but I believe the reason why it said last year it's based as a road entry level is
Plus
because
one.
that's how the statute was. But let me look and see.
So it was a deputy, full-time deputy is based on 2080 hours, right? Is that correct? So that would
I
be,
believe that's right.
that'd be 50,
2080.
54, 995, 20 would be their base salary, according to this one. And there's 6 of them. over
It just,
there.
the statute actually just says they're entitled to the same salary that other members of the department of the same rank, grade, or position are paid.
Hit me with that again, I'm sorry.
It says they're entitled to the same salary that other members of the department of the same rank, grade, or position are paid.
You only have one major.
Yes, but what's their rank? That's their position.
Whatever
What's their
equals
rank and
salary.
what's their grade, right? So, I mean, it's gonna depend on those things.
Okay.
So it doesn't say they just pay, they pay the same as any person of the same rank.
Another, I
Corporal,
got another
whatever
question.
lieutenant, I don't know.
On
Into that.
the matrix that's attached to this, it says a deputy year 1 is 2644. But here it says full-time deputy level 1, the 2026 rate would be 2684. So how did it go up 40 cents?
That would be a year 2.
That'd be year 2. And then the level 2, there's one of those, should be, according to this matrix, 2684. And it's 2724.
We might have typos then.
I think we've bumped them up. Because my understanding of a matrix is the numbers don't change, the people change within it. So their years change is what increases them by 1.5%. But I think the way the salary ordinance is reading, and look at that if I'm seeing it wrong, but I think we automatically maybe took them up. So we might have to change that. Because I'm showing the year 1 would be that, but this column is what it would go to. So level 1 says there's 6 of them. It would go to 2684.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're off on every tier.
Oh, you're right.
what do we do with that?
So we need to re-advertise something.
I think,
Well, we're going down,
I
right?
think you would be good, because actually we're going down. It's all just shifted up one kind of, like, what we have listed here as level 1 deputy, saying there's 6 of those people there. They're showing as being paid in 26 as a year 2 deputy, and then a year 2 person's paid at a year 3. Like, we're off from the matrix to the salary ordinance.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get my old self up. See if that's what I'm seeing. But I'm looking at deputy year 1, 2644. You go here where there's 6 of them, and it's 2684. I don't know if maybe the jailers are the same way. Theirs looks right. But these are all.
Okay, so you just want I think the pay is correct. I think this just needs to be like level 2 or 3.
Is there 6 of them in level 2 now, or is there 6 of them that he hired as level
Yeah,
1?
but it's also level 1 because it's first, I mean,
Well, it'd be a new deputy, so you would start at that rate. Then your second year, you would be at
we don't
that rate.
have any at that rate, any full-time at that rate right now.
So these are all level 1s in 25, so they're actually level 2 this year.
But then there is no level 1.
Well,
That makes sense, because there
If-
hasn't been any new.
yeah, if they haven't hired anybody here, there wouldn't be.
I thought he just hired like 4 of them.
In 25, if it helps, I don't know if it helps or not. In 25, we had 8 entry level, 3 second level, 1 third level, and 1 fourth level.
Maybe we need to
Do that again.
just ask the sheriff
We
to
had
send us a
8
breakdown.
entry, which would be level 1,
In
3
25.
second level, yeah, 1 third level, and 1 fourth level. I don't know how long, I mean, you're gonna have attrition and people going in and out, but that should help.
You know what, maybe we better go back and look at these guys, because all we can do is go back and look at their start date, and then
Right.
we know what year to put them on the.
Yeah, because, I mean, they would have to be here, I guess, a calendar year, and then
And
they
then it
would
goes.
move up the following January. So like if I was hired in 25 in November, my 1 year would be November of 26. So 27, I'd go to tier 2.
Two.
And that's how, my understanding is how it should work.
Let us go back then and look at the hire dates with these people and see who's where,
Okay.
and we'll bring this back next month.
Everybody good with that? Is there any other changes or? That manager at the transfer station, is that the guy you said is making a little bit more than
Yeah, he's making
$21.60?
$21 an hour, where the others are making 20.
I mean, maybe that's a conversation to have with the commissioners about, do they want to change what he's paid? I don't know. It has to sustain itself, but somebody's going to have to do the financials out there, or else I think they're going to get bad shape pretty quick.
Well, the way it's going now, the one that's getting the extra dollar, Mr. Carey, he's tracking, he's actually doing a great job trying to track past expenses and things like that. He's doing a really good job there. He's getting our disposal rates when we get those, and he's trying to compare them back in real time to what was spent. Right now, he is the one, he's depositing the money. He brings the quietus to the office. He deposits the money. The credit cards go in there, and Ryan will be checking that, because that Bank 14 now will only be a clearinghouse for credit cards. And that just makes it easier, because when it was before, when we first started that, it was going into the, I won't say the general fund, that's not correct. It was going into Bank 1 at the bank. And because there's so many transactions that go through there, when you've got to go back and reconcile, even though there might only be 10 transactions a day that's a credit card, when you've got to go through all the transactions of the county to find that 10, it takes a
Right.
tremendous amount of time.
I can
So
see that.
that's why they're using that Bank 14 as a clearinghouse on the credit cards.
Also, did we, I know I'm jumping around, but visitor and tourism, there's a little bit of a raise on those. Did their board aware of that? Because I know they oversee some of their
I
finances.
think they sent it over
They're
in their
good with
budget.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any other questions on, I think I beat the salary ordinance to death, but I don't want to do 47 revisions. I'd love to get it done.
We'll look at, I'll go
early.
back and look at the actual start dates and see what we can figure out on the matrix.
All right. Sorry about that.
I do want to address a couple of things before we leave.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. Floor's yours.
Well, it's just, it's going back to the matrix thing again. We've got, I think, 3 employees with over 20 years. And the way it's set up, I don't know what we can do, maybe we can. After 20 years, you don't get anything. I mean, it's like an invitation, please leave. But there's 3 other people where I know that got nothing this year because they're over 20 years. And I just think that's the way it's set up. I'd like to see that change somehow or other. We have, and they don't get any longevity either. Their longevity doesn't get restored after the 20 years. So these 3 are losing a pretty good chunk of money. They're not going uphill this year. Every year they're going down.
Stagnant.
So I don't know if we can address that and change that, or should we? But I'd like to look into that. And also, we got the 3.
The 3, there's only one guy I can think of it on the
There's
road
2
side.
one officer on the road, and 2 jailers.
Okay.
I'll make it a little clearer. One of them works over here in the courthouse.
Which
You got-
they questioned me about that, and I'm not really sure how that works because we moved the courthouse security to
Well, that's the question. Is
The-
who's paying them?
Judge Mount. So
Wouldn't that mean they would be eligible for the 3%?
I don't know how that works.
And I know, I just think maybe it's not us to clear that up, but it's for her, pay, who gets paid and whatnot, support to these people. And, I don't know if they meant for that, but after 20 years, you get nothing.
Right.
You lose. Can we address that, or is that something that has to come from the sheriff?
Well, the sheriff should have requested that at budget time and recognized it, but my understanding is the court deputies were moved under Judge
Judge
Mount's
Mount.
purview, which means Judge Mount would ask for it in his budget because those would be in his budget. So I would think that if we gave, because they're not under really the control of
Well,
the
that's.
sheriff anymore. So
I
I would
think
think Judge
but
Mount could act, I think they would be eligible for the 3%
So
that we gave.
their police powers or whatever
that make
enforcement
sense?
powers just
Yeah,
come
well,
from
he's
the sheriff.
exactly right. They're still wearing the sheriff's uniform.
Yeah.
Which means they have to come under some authority under him too.
Well, let me talk to Judge Mount and see what the agreement was, because when we originally talked about moving them to him, he said he was gonna offer to he was gonna make an agreement with Jerry
Yeah.
that he would keep those officers, and if they didn't want to stay, then he would just go hire off-duty officers. So it's entirely within his purview to say, I don't want to use the sheriff's office, I'm gonna hire somebody else. But he wanted to make an agreement with Jerry, and I'm not sure what that agreement is, because that's
Well,
between the 2 of them.
I think the agreement is they work for the judge and they get their authority from the sheriff.
Well, then
And
they
that
would go
can be
under the
changed.
matrix,
That
which
can
is
be
the
changed.
20%. I would think the sheriff would ask for,
Yeah.
some accommodation for them. I mean, if you guys want to take it up, there's nothing that stops you
I
from saying these
just
3
know
people.
they got nothing.
Yeah,
And
Well, I mean-
one of them, I don't know if he's a jailer or a court employee now, because he's over the 20 years thing.
I don't think there's
On the
anything
matrix.
that's stopping you, Mr. Lisenby, from proposing that since we gave the 3% to the county executive employees and the other office holders employees, but those 3 are not under the matrix because they're 20 years. I don't think there's anything wrong with you proposing that those 3 employees get whatever the
Okay.
matrix, I think it's 1.5% or something bump.
And also.
I don't want to cut you off, but I wouldn't be a proponent of jumping in and out of, I'm sheriff because he got a better deal. I'm
Well,
county
yeah,
because
either
they
they're
got a
county-
better deal. They're one or the other.
Sounds to me
Somebody's
like
got
we
to
should-
pick.
But the people working there have got caught in the middle.
I agree.
And, but it also, some of them, we got some people part-time didn't get anything either. And I know we don't want to look at individuals on that, but a part-time rate didn't get anything
No, the
either.
part-time,
That's up to
we
them.
decided that is going to be set by the director. So whoever they answer
So
to,
whoever they answer to can give them a raise?
they can ask for it and we set it in, that's what, as long as they don't. So let me set that, like, I'll use Kevin as an example. If he has $25,000 in his budget for part-time, I don't know if you do or not, but if you do, and he decides I want to pay people $12 an hour, but have more, fine. If he decides I'm going to pay him 15, we budgeted 25.
Okay.
The director of that department got the option, and I think we told White the same thing at the coroner's office. You have the option of how you spend it, but don't come ask for more just because you gave everybody a huge raise. You have to be, it's allowing them to oversee their employees better and budget better.
Okay, and that take care of the part-time, but
Yeah.
how about, I'm asking again, should they have their longevity restored after 20? Is that a question, the 3 at the jail? Or that's it.
So they're not getting it at all?
They got nothing.
So they go to 20%
After
longevity or whatever
20
it is,
years, they're done.
and then it
They
just
got no
stops.
longevity at
They
all.
got nothing.
I thought once you cap it, just continued at that rate the rest of your career.
No.
That's not how his thing's written.
Well,
That's why he
that's
keeps saying it's a
That's a
20-year
handbook
contract.
issue that has to, the commissioners would have
Well,
to
that's-
change them,
That's crazy.
because they make the employee handbook. But for the sheriff,
Is it up to us if we want to restore their longevity after 20?
Or the sheriff could say,
half.
I mean,
An
does he need to
amendment-
come to us or can we do it?
well, to me, this is a twofold problem. You got one that's a road guy and 2 that's jail. And one that may be court. So you got 3 different
Yes.
avenues.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the ones that answer to the sheriff for sure.
Okay.
I think he could request that matrix be amended to open-ended, or it continues at whatever rate for the years of service. And
There's 2
I
at
think
the
that'd be
jail.
reasonable.
2 at the jail.
And then, so that's what I'm saying, the ones that answer to him, I think he could amend his matrix to continue at the rate for however long you serve at the department. The ones we need to decide, I guess, after you can talk to
He just said
Judge
that the
Mount.
agreement is that they still get their authority from the sheriff and they still answer to the
They
sheriff.
get their
basically.
law enforcement power from the sheriff.
So they would still work for the sheriff.
I mean, that's a sheriff.
So let's say they don't show up to work tomorrow, who gets in trouble?
Who do they get in
Who
trouble
they
with?
get in trouble
I
from?
would say the judge, but I'd also say their authority to, that's an open question. That's almost, I don't think we can answer that
Right.
question. I think that's got to come from the sheriff.
And I think we have to have that answer to be able to tell you how to move forward on them, or that one, I guess.
I'm not hearing anybody opposed to it. I'm just hearing we're
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, well,
The longevity issue is a handbook issue, which would be the commissioners, though. They have to change the employee handbook.
okay. So longevity, you got to go through the commissioners and probably through the sheriff.
Well, the sheriff decides whether or not he wants to go with the handbook or not.
Yeah.
But if they are on that matrix, they don't get longevity.
Oh, they don't? Well, then
That's
if,
part of
But that's
One-
what
one or
I'm
the
saying,
other.
but I'm hoping they get it restored after
That's-
20.
Or, yeah, we either amend that thing to say after 20 years, you fall back to the county system,
Yes.
or you continue
get
at your
longevity or you
1.5 or whatever, but that decision is gonna have to come at the request of the sheriff.
Okay.
And then-
I should have them-
But I wouldn't mind entertaining it. I understand something like James said, it's kind of ludicrous that, thank you for your 20 years. You get nothing.
Yeah.
You climb and then it's
Now hurry up and leave.
So
Well, I mean, if you hired in at a 21-year-old person, you're not gonna walk out the door at 41. You would hope you would stay and work a while. So, man, it's probably just an oversight that.
Yeah, it may be, but this thing doesn't address, people over 20, so you assume
Yeah.
they don't have it. So I should just tell them maybe they need to go back to sheriff, see if he'll come forward.
See if he'll come
And the
to us
judge
and
the
ask
other.
to amend that thing, and the other one, find out who he answers to, I guess.
Yeah, well, I do think they answer to the judge, but their authority, police story, I know where it comes from.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
they can also, if they switch over, the judge can give certain.
I just don't want to allow someone to bounce back and forth. That's not fair to anybody to say, well, grass is greener this year over here. I'm now
Well, I'm trying to think, most of the court bailiffs that in the counties that that I'm in regularly, they're still sheriff's officers. They would still be under the sheriff. So, while they may, everybody in a building doesn't want to have the judge yelling at you.
I was totally agreeing with that until they switched the money over to the judge.
Yeah. Let me talk to Judge Mount about it and
Okay.
see what him and Sheriff Gooden worked out.
I think
And
those
maybe
guys
that
would be
might-
fine moving it over with that, working for him, but have to change their uniform somewhat.
Yeah.
or just get an
Clarity.
agreement that they work, the sheriff provides enforcement action to
Well, that's what. it used
2,
to be.
3, whatever for the judge, and that's all they get from him. And then
Well, I
they
guess it
answer
depends.
to,
If they're still law enforcement officers under the sheriff or they're bailiffs under the judge.
right. And I could see,
Does that
I
make
think
sense?
you're right. If if you don't mind, talk to them, see what you
Yeah.
can work out.
Yeah,
And I'll
because
talk,
it could be sticky down the road if you got a sheriff and a judge that didn't get along.
and, I think, yeah.
You say taking away your right or whatever.
So, but if part-time, they need their, that's up to department heads too.
Yes, up to department heads is what we said at budget time.
As long
I
as
think
they're under
that's-
that.
As long as they
in
stay
cap,
within their
you know?
budget.
I think that we talked about that a lot during budget season, if I remember correctly. About, some people might only be a scanner that's $10, $12 an hour, whatever. College kid working in the summer, but some people are more, learning to work 4D. And that's a little bit more heavy trying to get into the computer system. So maybe there's $18 or $20 an hour, but that
But-
should be up to them in their office. So I
I
think.
think
like you
we
said-
have different, we have some people are part-time, get called in occasionally, some people full-time, part-time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I
Good
get what you're
questions
saying.
though, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody,
All right.
Miller, you got anything?
Nope.
Anybody else down here? Nope. Motion to adjourn?
No,
No.
you got minutes.
Minutes, oh yeah.
Every
The-
line of them got minutes.
Collins made a motion to approve the minutes as written. Second by Miller. All in favor of the minutes? I forgot I did. Seven. 7-0 on those. Anything else, Jennifer?
That's all I have.
Collins made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second by Miller. All in favor? 7-0.